Did I hear you're shopping for a car? Because I've been at it for ages. Ugh, such a time suck, right?
Not really. I bought it on Carvana. Super convenient.
Oh, then comes all the financing, research, am I right?
Well, you can, but I got pre-qualified for a Carvana auto loan in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, but then all the number crunching and terms, right?
Nope. I saw real numbers as I shopped, found my dream car, and got it in a couple of days.
Wait, like you already have it?
Yep.
Oh.
Go to Carvana.com to finance your car the convenient way.
Blog Talk Radio.
Doodilly, Metal Faithful. It is I, your mandated reporter, and frankly, I'm mortified, Mr. Mark Rattledge. And tonight on the Metal Hammer of Doom, we are going to review an album that came out a little ways back by a band called Okilly Dokilly. And the album is Howdilly. This is, of course, a Ned Flanders inspired metal band, Okilly Dokilly. And they play Nedal, Nedal, Nedal music. Fantastic. So I heard about this band earlier in the year, and then I found out well after they had actually dropped Howdilly Doodly that they had in fact dropped the album, and it was available on Spotify. And I immediately said, stop the presses. We have to review this thing. We have to talk about this. This is the most important thing we're going to discuss all year. So we don't have Robert Cooper tonight, unfortunately. He's off trying to bring more Mexicans into the country before Donald Trump sends them home. We're not getting political. Joke. You have to know, if you've been listening to the show all year, that is a constant joke about Robert Cooper and the Mexicans. No, instead, we subbed out Robert Cooper. He's benched, and we're bringing in, he's not a replacement. He's his own man, the superstar in his own right. The host of the 411 Ground and Pound radio show, my co-host, as a matter of fact, of Damn You Hollywood, and Simpsons superfan in his own right, Mr. Robert Winfree. Howdilly Doodly, Robert Winfree.
You could not have asked that at just the wrong possible time, because now my phone's ringing. I'm doing all right, except for the fact that I hate the phone.
Show.
Just hate the show. I hate the phone. On principle. There's a special corner of hell for Andrew Graham Bell and what he has done to society.
Mike's cutting out, ambient sound, phones going off, children screaming. This is all part of the show. We couldn't get through a Metal Hammer of Doom if there wasn't some sort of non-professional fuck-up somewhere. So thank you for providing the first one. We sincerely appreciate it.
This is what happens when I don't actually host, when I just get to contribute. Things, chaos happens around me.
There you go. I'm actually glad we have you on tonight. You will be bringing, as the resident Simpsons expert, you will be bringing an air of authority to this show, because, well, Jesse and I can talk about the musical aspects, the complex rhythms and notes of the Okilly Dokilly playing the Howdilly Doodilly. I'm going to do this all show, everyone. Just fucking deal with it. You will be here to provide the context of these Ned Flanders inspired lyrics and songs. It'll be fantastic. I'm glad to have you aboard. Also, I'm glad to have you on because otherwise we wouldn't have done a show together this week, and that would make me a sad panda. So, you'll be back for Rogue One, much to your chagrin, but it was nice to have you on since we didn't have a movie to review this week. So, glad you're here. And you took time out to do the show tonight. Of course, no Metal Hammer of Doom would be complete without the third chair, the man that ties it all together, the moral compass of the Metal Hammer of Doom, its ethical core, its soul, ladies and gentlemen, Soul Man himself, Jesse Starcher. How do you do, sir?
Soul Man. I like that. I got a quick question. I think that you referred to this band as noisecore when we were recording our source material.
Yeah, I called it noisecore. It's what I thought it was. I haven't necessarily found anything to corroborate that particular designation.
First off, I need to understand what the hell noisecore is.
Okay. To Wikipedia, everybody.
There's so many damn different genres of metal. It seems like every other week, we're going to be playing this band, and they are, and I'm like, what the hell is that? So, if you don't know it off the top of your head, please educate us here once you hit the Wikipedias.
All right. So, noisecore is a term normally attributed to fast, aggressive, lo-fi, and often incomprehensible, noisy hardcore or grindcore with extremely short tracks. It grew out of the hardcore and early grindcore scenes of the mid to late 80s and became somewhat of a subgenre on its own.
Okay. I can see some aspects of that in this album, but there are a few outliers among the tracks that I think, and I definitely can tell everything that he's saying, so it's not, the vocals ain't that bad, but we'll get into all that here as we progress. Robert Winfree, how the heck are you doing, man?
It's cold.
Oh, man, I'm glad to have you on here, dude.
You and I existed about the same latitude. Yes. I think you're a little bit further north than I am technically. And your area is much wetter than mine, so I'm grateful that I live in a desert. I'm very grateful
you're dry.
for that most of the time. But it's getting cold, and that makes me a little bit on the unhappy side is all.
Oh, now we're talking metal, Simpsons metal here. I mean, that's got to put a little bit of a smile on your face. At least I hope.
Look, don't give him any sympathy, Jesse Starcher. Don't you dare. I told him he's a grown-ass man. He can move to a warmer climate. He chooses to live in Utah. You live in a desert, as Sam Kinison once said. You live in a desert. Don't give him food. Don't give him sympathy. Give him luggage. Now listen, I Googled noisecore band, and here's what came up. Now, it's under the heading of grindcore, but to kind of give you an idea of some of the bands that would be in that genre, maybe, somewhere in there.
Uh-huh.
Anal Cunt. Okay?
Well, I know those guys are known for their short songs.
Napalm Death, Repulsion, Cripple Bastard, 7 Minutes of Nausea. Sounds like a lot of money.
Isn't Napalm Death essentially responsible for spawning that whole genre? They had a big hit that was all of like 7 seconds long.
Yes. It was called You Suffer. And it launched an entire genre and murdered music and everything in its path. Gorbion Necropsy, Terrorizer, Burnt by the Sun, Carcass. Really? Carcass? Melt Banana.
Melt Banana.
Dillinger, Brutal Truth. Have you heard of any of these, Jesse? Because I've heard of most of these.
Dillinger, Snake Land, definitely. Napalm Death, I have not. I don't think I've listened to anything from them, but I've heard of them. So, but yeah, most of those bands are out of my wheelhouse. You
should absolutely listen to Carcass. Carcass is good.
Okay.
Cryptic Slaughter.
Nope.
I'm not reading the entire list. I'm finding some fun bands here. And lastly, speaking of fun bands, Fuck the Fact.
Okay.
Who've been around since 1980. So
Pretty sure that's the official band of both major political parties.
Truth.
Waka waka. I want to say, who's he? What? See, I Wrestled a Bear once has to be noisecore. Hang on, I Wrestled a Bear once.
Oh, you guys have mentioned that before.
I Wrestled a Bear once is hilarious. I mean, unlistenable. Wait, hang on.
It's on there.
Did you do it, Jesse? Did you do it?
It's on there.
Okay.
It's on there.
Okay, here we go. This is monumental, ladies and gentlemen. Ready? I Wrestled a Bear.
You can't tell a damn thing that says. Play it one more time.
Really? After all that build-up, that's what I got?
That was bad. I didn't think it sounded that bad.
You couldn't find one clear version of unlistenable?
Well, I picked. It was him yelling unlistenable. I'll try. Let me see if I could do something better next time. Okay? How about we just put that aside for right now? We'll mark it down as a Starcher project for next week.
We'll call this one a draw and move on from there. No, you lost.
Yeah. Okay, so I Wrestled a Bear once, according to the wiki, is avant-garde metal, metalcore, mathcore, and deathcore. So, all right. So let's put away this discussion of this. Maybe it's a noisecore band, maybe it isn't.
Yeah.
Discussion, and let's get right to what we came here for. Okilly Dokilly. Okilly Dokilly. Okilly Dokilly. So, as I was saying, Howdilly. Ladies and gentlemen, voted most annoying show of this year. Metal Hammer of Doom's review of Okilly Dokilly's
Oh, yeah.
was released on November 11th, 2016. And so to read a little bit more about this, as I said, this is Nedal music, themed around Ned Flanders from the television show The Simpsons. All 5 of the band members, if you've never seen a picture of this goof troop, all 5 of the band members performed dressed as Flanders, and the majority of the lyrics to their songs are quotes of his. The band members go by the names of Head Ned, Bled Ned, Red Ned, Bread Ned, and Zed Ned. The unusual concept behind the group has resulted in worldwide attention. You ain't kidding, Buster. The lead singer, Head Ned, said that Nedal music is not as fast as Bartcore.
Bartcore?
And a little cleaner. Bartcore. And a little cleaner than Krusty Punk. References to hardcore punk and punk respectively. So, are we all caught up now? Everyone know what we're doing here?
Certainly.
Contributing to the downfall of society.
So, according to the band, the lyrics of Howdilly Doodilly contain 75% Ned quotes and 25% other characters' originals. Before we get into this, before we play the first track, Winfree, had you heard of Howdilly Doodilly before Okilly Dokilly, before I happened to mention I need you on the show as my Simpsons expert?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. How did you learn of good old Okilly Dokilly?
Oh, jeez. I can't remember if it was Jason Teasley or Benjamin Cologne who on Facebook, and it might have been Teasley because this is the kind of thing that he would stumble across and know that I would not be able to keep my hands off of. But one of those two actually shared their existence on Facebook much earlier this year. I forget exactly how long. So I found a few of the songs on YouTube before they dropped the proper album. But, I knew who they were.
I know I shared it when Metal Injection covered it. I'm not going to go all the way back to my Facebook feed. We don't have that kind of time. But I remember I first learned of it on Metal Injection, and I thought it was hilarious, and I shared it, and I never thought I would hear this band again. But you know what? You can't keep a good Simpsons reference band down. So let's get into this. Let's get into this. Let's go ahead and play our first track here. Now, what we're going to do here is to provide some order to things and try to end on time. I'm going to play the track. As we all know, I can only play a little bit of these things, and these are some extremely short songs. So we're really going to have to slice and dice. I'm going to play it. We'll talk a little bit about it, and then just jump right in there, Winfree, after we've discussed the tonal quality of the music, with what exactly they're referencing. Educate myself in Starcher, because I don't remember a lot of these. I mean, I remember that they are quotes, and I remember hearing them, but I could not tell you the context. My life depended on it. So we'll talk a little bit about the song, and you give us the context, and then we'll move on to the next one, all right? Are we ready?
Rock and
Okilly
roll.
Dokilly if you're ready.
Okilly Dokilly. Let's do it.
Say it, Robert. Say it.
Don't do it, Winfree.
No, I'm going to come up with another bit of Ned Flanders nonsense. After you two go through Okilly Dokilly and Howdilly Doodilly, I will come up with a third bit.
All right.
I am, let's go ahead. I am certainly about as ready as I'll ever be.
All right. You're sounding more like Professor Frick than you are Ned Flanders, but let's do this. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Track 1, White Wine Spritzer. Something I don't normally say, especially if you've heard a lot of the shows we've done this year with respect to the term samey. I don't like samey. I don't like a lot of repetition. I don't like repetition in my life, let alone in my music. But I have to say, their use of repetition and the tonal quality of these songs go together so well. I mean, yes, it's kind of a joke band, but it's actually kind of fun to listen to, and I'm actually kind of digging this like angry, screaming, angsty vocal range and guitar playing and everything else against nonsensical, silly lyrics. How do you yell "white wine spritzer" and sound so mad about it?
Yeah, I mean
that's a lot of this album.
Yeah. Well, you say samey. I mean, dude, we have two lyrics. Oh, I say two lyrics. Two sets of lyrics here. It's basically two verses. You only live once, and hell, give me a white wine spritzer, and that's all he says throughout this 3-minute and 10-second song. So it is funny that you say that, because for a 3-minute and 10-second song, they do a good job of not weighting it down with repeating that over and over and over and over, and let the music talk every once in a while in between there, which, by the way, I enjoyed. I didn't think at first, you know how I am with vocals. The vocals have usually got to set it off right. And when I first heard this and heard how this guy was singing, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I was like, gosh, he's going to scream this whole time. But it grew on me for some strange reason. This whole album did, actually. So as for White Wine Spritzer, it's I think the most fun of all these tracks is going and doing a little bit of research and finding what clip it's from, what specific episode or whatever. Which, thank goodness, there's a website out there that does that for you. But I immediately, like, after listening to this track, I said, okay, I've got to go to YouTube on each one of these tracks and find the specific clip and listen, which made it that much more fun. So as for White Wine Spritzer, I'm not going to give away or talk about anything of exactly what is behind this song, but specifically the way it sounded, I think they did a great job of making me a bit of a fan here after a few listens to this one.
Yeah, it's an acquired taste, much like a White Wine Spritzer.
Which I did look up, by the way. I had to figure out. I was like, well, what is it goes into a White Wine Spritzer?
It's an exceptionally weak alcoholic beverage, which plays into the joke from the show.
Specifically, yes.
So real quick, I mean, like I said, I know you're not a fan of the whole screamo thing. I know you're not big into just someone, howling lyrics into the microphone.
Yeah, a dire wraith yelling into the microphone.
Yeah, you're not into Nazgulcore.
Yes.
A term I coined.
That is correct.
But I have to say, their use of that sort of thing and sort of treating it with a bit of humor, like they're not taking themselves too seriously, helps. But also, this is kind of an interesting album in the sense that there's a guy playing a synthesizer in this, and their use of that synthesizer really makes it unique. We'll talk a little bit more about that as we get through this, but yeah, I was like, if there's anything, because like everything else is kind of, okay, well, I've heard this before. So there's a familiarity to it that I enjoy. But then you get that synth, and it's like, this is how you know I've been watching way too many cooking shows lately. So you take a dish, right, that's very familiar, and you add one element that elevates the whole thing and makes it unique. And that's what the synth does for this, because everything else is stuff we've heard before. Even lyrically to an extent. But adding that synth in there and the way they do it really makes it, like, I don't think I've ever heard anything like it before. And it's, and as much as I've listened to like industrial music, it wasn't quite like this. So I really have to say kudos for them for sort of defining out a unique sound for them in a genre that can be very samey.
Yes.
All right. You sort of alluded to it before, Winfree. Tell us about the White Wine Spritzer.
The White Wine Spritzer gag comes from season 10, episode 10, if memory serves me correctly there. The big gag for this episode is Ned Flanders is... we find out very early that Ned Flanders is actually over 60. He maintains his youthful appearance and general essence by living as clean as possible. Never takes a risk, never deviates, and he realizes that he's 60 and has never actually lived a day in his life. Now, in order to remedy this circumstance, he turns to the antithesis of the Ned Flanders sit down, think things through, no risk lifestyle. That is Homer Simpson. And he becomes a student of the Homer Simpson method. Homer tries so very hard, and Ned just can't quite break out of his shell. So they go to Vegas, and Homer realizes that the best thing he can do for Ned to help him lose the inhibitions is to get him drunk. And Flanders' response to this, is, all right, well, let's try, and he goes through a few different drinks that he wants, all of which begin with virgin. And then finally says, hell, give me a white wine spritzer. At which point the spritzer line starts echoing. We spiral into the mouth of Ned Flanders. We come out, and they have with he and Homer recovering from a night of painting the town red in a hot tub in a suite in Vegas. It's a very stereotypical Vegas story. Now, Homer, of course, imbibed a ton of alcohol to achieve the same level of drunkenness that Ned Flanders got off of a single white wine spritzer. They also both got married while they were in Vegas.
This is the one where they both married prostitutes, right?
They're not whores. They're lounge girls. They're cocktail waitresses in a Vegas casino.
Okay. I knew it was something like that.
Then they get thrown out of Vegas after the town of Vegas realizes that no, they were already married, and we don't need your kind of degenerates here in Vegas.
As we talk about them, I've seen a lot of The Simpsons, probably almost all of them, but my memory isn't quite the steel trap that yours is. So, as we talk about it, I'm like, yeah, okay, these are coming back to me now. But I definitely remember, as I was listening to the album, thinking to myself, oh, where is this from? I knew the line, but I couldn't place it. Real quick, Winfree, what did you think of the first song?
The screaming style of vocalization is really not within my personal taste. That being said, I agree with your general assessment of it. So I'm putting aside a lot of what I personally enjoy musically here for the sake of objective criticism, because I'm capable of that, unlike, 95% of paid critics, regardless of genre.
This is not Damn You Hollywood, can it?
No, but there are plenty of music critics who are just as bad as film critics.
Okay, when we do a show called Damn You Broadway or something, or Damn You AMC Records, we'll start bashing the critics. Speaking of which, this might be my favorite song off this album. I've been saying it all day. I work around criminals and nurses and police, and something happened, and I just shouted, "Oh, Flanderdoodles!" And I get not a weird look from anybody. Really, honestly enough, just yelling out Flanderdoodles, and no one thinks twice. So here we go. Track 2.
Oh, shit.
I'm trying not to play stuff from the last quarter of music on the review show at the end of the year, but I might not be able to not play that.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Especially when you realize that line comes from a robot punching Flanders in the balls.
Well, that's Mark all over right there. The robots are taking over.
Do I post a little too much about that on Facebook? I don't think I post enough.
No, sir. No.
Your internal programming just needs to be updated, is all, to post it more frequently.
There you
Indeed.
go. All right. So I had to get up just now to warn my son that if he turned his light on one more time, I was going to get angry, and he won't like me when I'm angry. So I walked back to my computer, and I wanted to just start picking up change. Jesse, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I do know.
Picking up change, throw a windmill. I was seriously starting to I had to stop myself from hardcore dancing in my living room. I love that song. The beat is that sort of stop, go, which I'm normally not into, but there was something about it that was just like, oh, this is like listening to like old school New York, in the 90s, ladies and gentlemen. That's Jesus Christ.
It's 20 years ago, man.
Old Man Winter. So hardcore from back when I was a kid, in the 90s. It just took me back there, but again, it had that weird synth in there. And then the other thing I really liked about it was, like he's just making a sound effect with his voice, and I'm like, what is he doing? It's just so much fun.
Yeah, it's very different the way he vocalizes this one. I sit there and I hear that, and I'm trying to picture that actually come out of somebody's mouth, because I mean, seriously, I've heard some crazy stuff. Most people are screaming, or most people are, singing in somewhat shape or form, but this guy has this most unique, like, I guess I'll call it a growl. I don't know, but it's very, very interesting. Go ahead.
Hang on. If you talk to like an old Jewish person, they have a speaking style that incorporates a lot of like weird sounds, and I feel like that's what he's doing. He's like, and it's just like he's doing that, but with a hardcore growl. So basically, what I'm saying is he sounds like an old Jewish man doing hardcore.
Well, and I don't know. Would you say that you hear that much again? I mean, he gets that screamy vocal growl, whatever he does. This song is the most unique of all the tracks, I think, in my opinion. And we'll listen to the rest of this album. We'll see if it kicks. Maybe I'm missing. Maybe I'm forgetting a couple times, or a couple of the songs that sound similar. But I honestly don't think so. I think specifically the way he sounded right there was just for this particular song. Or maybe they just mixed it different. I don't know. But it's for some reason he does not sound the same as he does on the rest of this album in this song.
No. This track stands out. All right. So I actually don't remember this at all. Not a bit. So fill us in, Winfree.
This is actually a very brief gag from the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror number 16. Let me make sure I'm correct there. Yes. It is erroneously labeled on the track list as Season 17, Episode 14. It's actually Episode 4. The short from this Treehouse of Horror that it's taken from is called Bartificial Intelligence. It's not one of the better episodes. It's not one of the better Treehouses of Horror. Not even one of the better shorts. The whole point here is Bart falls into a coma. They replace him with a robot. Like you do. Mark, I'm sure you have a robotic Jonas all ready to go. And randomly during a scene in the backyard where they have the new robot kid, trimming the hedges, doing yard work, Flanders walks up, just to be Flanders and say hi, and he's the one who actually says, "Oh, well, there's no bot like a robot." At which point, the robot, without looking, punches him square in the groin, and he falls to the ground, going, "Oh, my right in the Flanderdoodles." And at which point, Marge looks at Homer and goes, "Did you program him to do that?" "Yep."
Nice.
See, it's just like a 3-second gag from a lesser episode, from a lesser Treehouse of Horror episode. But it's always funny when someone gets hit in the balls.
And it's such a Flanders thing to say. There's no bot like a robot. And I'm like, I remember listening to this song going, I'm not hearing what I'm hearing here. He's not saying there's no bot like a robot. And so I sat down here on this podcast and looked at the lyrics, and that is exactly what he's saying. I mean, that's Flanders.
Yep, and then, again, little boy robot punches him square in the Flanderdoodles.
Good stuff.
Right in the Flanderdoodles. Okay. By the way, I just posted this on Facebook. I forgot to promote the show. I got distracted. So I just posted it on the show, and I wrote Lively Doodly. I'm funny.
Oh, wonderful.
Lively doodly, everybody. All right, let's keep this going.
Shoddily iddly diddly.
Here we go. Track 3, vegetables. If my son right now at 2, almost 3 years old were a UFC fighter, he would walk out to this song.
Now, does he eat vegetables? I assume not.
Not by choice.
You
He's okay with fruit. Likes bananas. He likes bananas. He loves like grapes and berries and stuff. Trying to get him to eat vegetables though is a bit of a chore. My daughter's a little bit better about it. But like last night, I think Monday night rather, we had pork chops, Parmesan crusted pork chops that my wife made. And she made, as a side dish, broccoli. And we got my daughter to finish it, but getting him to eat the broccoli was an uphill slog. And as I'm listening to this, I'm just like, someday, my son, I don't want any damn vegetables. It's going to come flying out of his mouth. And I'm not going to know whether to laugh or suplex him through a table.
You need to give the Ned Flanders response.
Okay.
That's it, young man. No Bible stories for you tonight.
Yeah, a bit of an empty threat in the Rattledge household, but I get the point. This is also a fun song. This is a very fun song. I like it a lot. No Flander doodles, but it's again good use of repetition, good use of drums. Just an all-around solid song for this band and this album. Jesse?
Yeah, I agree. This was one of the ones I paid attention to the most, I think. Got my attention first, where I was like, okay, what could possibly be going on in the Simpsons world right here that somebody does not want vegetables? And I immediately went and took to YouTube to find the clip. This was the first one I found. But again, solid song in my opinion. I enjoyed it.
All right. What do you think, Rob?
Musically, I wish we could have gone a little longer because I think they were about to finally break up the repetition there. However, I understand the constraints. As far as the quotes go, this comes from the episode where Bart writes letters to Mrs. Krabappel under his pseudonym. It is season 3, so we're in good Simpsons territory here. 16, that's it. Season 3, episode 16. The problem, the situation arises because Santa's Little Helper requires a new doghouse. The one they have is terrible. Homer decides to build it rather than buy one because he's cheap. And the experience of attempting to build a doghouse frustrates him to the point of obscenity more than once. And Todd Flanders, in the backyard of their house, hears Homer swearing and simply picks up on it over the net, just through being a kid, not understanding the full impact of what he's actually saying, and then begins integrating Homer's curses into his daily life. Specifically in this case, hell no, I don't want any damn vegetables. At which point, again, Ned sends him up to bed without Bible stories. Todd runs off crying because he doesn't understand. This actually leads to a funny gag where Ned figures out that it's Homer after eliminating other influences in his life. And we also find out that Todd doesn't like to watch the very Christian stop-action animation series, Davy and whatever, the one with the talking dog. Because he finds the idea of a talking dog to be somewhat heretical. Flanders gets Homer to make a deal not to swear anymore. Homer convinces him that he will shave his mustache in exchange for this service, which Flanders agrees to. We actually get one of the few shots in the show's history of Flanders minus mustache in this episode. While Homer starts putting money into a swear jar, eventually learns not to swear, and then the family winds up just buying the new doghouse with the money from the swear jar.
That's good stuff.
Funny. All right, we're gonna move this along here. Gonna speed things up a little bit. This is track 4. Nothing at all. And it feels like heaven is so far away. And sorry.
Oh.
Clearly, there was a little bit of offspring in that song, just a smidgen. All right, it's fine. That one's fine, even with a little bit of offspring in there. I'm glad they broke up the style of music with a little bit of clean guitar at the beginning. What was so funny, gentlemen? What were you laughing about? Because I don't get this reference at all.
How do you not understand the reference of Sexy Flanders?
I remember Sexy Flanders.
This comes from season 11. I want to make sure I'm right about that. Yes, episode 10 of season 11. The big story for this one is Marge breaks her leg and has to remain bedridden in the hospital. Lisa tries to take her place. This goes badly. The house becomes trashed. Lisa convinces both Bart and Homer that they have leprosy. Flanders actually ships them off to the Hansen's Disease Research Facility in Hawaii. So they basically get a free stay, the family gets a free stay in Hawaii so long as Bart and Homer undergo those. Look, if you actually have leprosy, the nerve endings in the skin that they're shocking are dead. So it doesn't hurt. The treatment exists for a reason. There's a reason leprosy no longer exists, generally speaking, in the greater world. If you don't have leprosy, they're shocking you repeatedly, and it hurts like a bitch. But because Homer and Bart are both willing to accept painful electroshock therapy sessions, once a day, in order to stay in Hawaii indefinitely, they're all down for that. The bit with Flanders that we're referencing here comes from the opening gag, how Marge breaks her leg when they all go skiing. Marge actually breaks her leg within the ski lodge rather than in the process of skiing, but jokes aside. Now, this comes from Homer trying to ski. Flanders pulls up in a very tight skiing outfit with a helmet on, and he and Homer have a brief interaction. Hi, Homer, how you doing? Geez, Flanders, that suit doesn't leave a whole lot to the imagination. Flanders' response is, yeah, I know. Feels like I'm wearing nothing at all. Then a minute, hang on. Very briefly after the fact, and where it becomes funny, is when Homer falls down the wrong course goes down the wrong ski course, one that I believe is the Colostomizer, though it might have been the Spine Cracker. Again. And he as he's sitting there, helplessly skiing down this slope that he is in no way prepared for, he tries to remember what the ski instructor told him about if you get in trouble. Then he hit the thought bubble, and the ski instructor going, now just remember, if you ever get in trouble, the only thing you have to do to avoid catastrophe is, at which point cuts into his thought bubble going, feels like I'm wearing nothing at all, nothing at all, nothing at all, as we get progressively tighter on his very exposed backside. And then Homer goes, oh, stupid sexy Flanders. Right after that, we get one of the better visual gags as his skis fall apart and he does, about a half split, which hurts like the devil if you're not ready for it. He goes, oh, this is the worst pain imaginable. And then he runs into the bumps.
Robert Winfree, everybody. So we have him on the show. I vaguely remember that now. I absolutely remember Sexy Flanders. I don't remember when they revealed that he was cut like an Adonis, like a WWE wrestler. But I do remember that was an ongoing bit with Ned, that he was just ripped underneath the sweater. So,
yeah, he's almost as ripped as Willie. Not quite, but almost. I think the first time that happened was a streetcar named Marge. Streetcar, I think is the name of the episode.
Okay. All right, real quick, you guys. Winfree, just add on there. Anything you want to say about the actual song?
No, I'm good.
Jesse? Did we lose Starcher Doodle?
I'm not sure. He still appears in the switchboard.
Okay. I'm getting messages from him. He's going to call back in. All right.
Okay.
Let's just move on to the next song while we wait for good old Starcher Doodle to regain his voice. Okay? So this is now. I do remember. I don't quite remember what the setup is necessarily, but I do feel like this is one of those episodes where Ned snaps. And I know because the line
Ned snaps.
Huh?
It's the episode where Ned snaps.
Okay, yeah. Isn't this the one where like I can't remember what set this up, but like he goes nuts and he just goes off on everybody in Springfield.
I'll give you the whole setup, and I actually know most. I think I know that entire rant off the top of my head, so I'll go for it after that.
I'm sure you said it to somebody who didn't know it was a Simpsons line. You saucy man, you. All right, so this is track 5. You're a jerk.
Yeah.
theme song.
All right, start your doodle.
Like, that's awesome.
All right, before we give you the floor, Winfree, I got to get Starcher in here before Sky kicks him off again. Start your doodle.
Yo.
Give me some words. Tell me some things.
All right, nothing. First off, I wanted to go back to Nothing at All and just say I really like that track, but yes, they ate the Offspring, right? And I don't know if I should take points off for it. I really don't know. Now, as for You're a Jerk, when we get into You're a Jerk here, I'm just curious as to what the reference is, because I don't think I could find anything on this one. So I can't wait to hear about it. I enjoyed the song. It wasn't one of the standout tracks to me, by the way. That's about.
This is easily my second favorite song of this album. I think this is hilarious. One, because I know the thing, and I love Ned Flanders going off on the town of Springfield is one of the funniest moments to me in the history of The Simpsons.
That might be why. That might be why I don't dig it as much as you do, because I don't know what it's from.
Season 8, Episode 8. Go to Simpsons World, watch that episode. It's one of the truly great episodes of The Simpsons.
All right.
Give us a brief synopsis. Brief, 50 words or less. Go.
The setup here is a hurricane hits Springfield, and everyone is completely unaffected except for the Flanders house, which is crushed. Flanders can't quite reconcile the fact that he keeps trying to do the right thing. He's done everything the Bible says, even the stuff that contradicts the other stuff, and he feels like he's getting nowhere. The city of Springfield subsequently rallies to rebuild his house, and they do a piss-poor job of it. And after... no, really, just awful. The toilet is now in the kitchen because Wiggum is too lazy to lug it up a flight of stairs. There's a load-bearing poster. I mean, this is just... It's terrible. As soon as they all walk out of the house and ask him, so Flanders, what do you think of the house that Love built? The whole thing collapses again, right behind them. At which point he snaps and goes off on the entire town. He starts off on Marge. Oh, I'm sorry, Marge. I can't house my family, and in your good intentions, your kids are out of control, but nobody can say anything because you've got good intentions. Bart jumps in with, hey, back off my mom, dude. Oh, I'm sorry, dude. Wouldn't want you to have a cow, man. Here's a catchphrase for your adult years. Hey, buddy, got a quarter? Lisa comes along and says, oh, I'm Mr. Flanders, with all due respect, Bart didn't actually do... Oh, is that the sound of butting in I hear? It must be little Lisa Simpson, Springfield's answer to a question no one asked. Oh, look at you. Oh, and what do we got here? The long, flabby arm of the law. The last case you got to the bottom of, Wiggum, was a case of Malamars. At which Krusty writes that down, chuckling to himself. Oh, the clown. Ironically, the only one of you who doesn't make me laugh. He looks at Moe. You ugly, hate-filled man. Hey, I may be ugly and hate-filled, but what was that third thing? And the line we actually get used here is when he looks over at Lenny and goes, I don't even know you, but I'm sure you're a jerk. And Lenny kind of looks around and goes, I just got here. I don't even know what's going on. And he stalks up to Homer, goes, Homer, you're the worst human being I've ever met. Homer's response to this is, got off pretty easy. Ned then drives himself to a sanatorium and checks himself in.
Wow.
Right.
Oh, that whole bit is one of the greatest things The Simpsons has ever done. It is tremendous.
Is this the one where you learn that Ned was raised by hippies?
Beatniks, but yes.
Okay. All right. Good. All right,
we also know the fate of the critic
that.
because Jay Sherman is in the same institution, stuck repeating it stinks.
Wait.
It stinks. It stinks.
Okay, yeah, that has
it
lended
stinks.
itself to many a podcast. That line has lended itself to, that's why I jumped in, sorry. But we have been saying, yes, everything stinks. I
Yes,
hit
Mr.
Gavin Napier with that line. We've said it constantly on Damn You Hollywood. I think that's why this episode sticks out in my head so much. All right. Anything else on You're a Jerk, Mr. Starcher?
No. I will definitely check out that episode, though.
Season 8, episode
So is
8.
that like
Tremendous piece of work.
So Winfree, is that your new like theme song? Are you just gonna walk around the streets of Utah with that blasting behind you?
Yes.
Winfree, you have to use that now on Damn You Hollywood. When you get to that one critic who you just want to go.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
20 minutes
Save your when you go through and clean up the audio. The clips we have saved. Save You're a Jerk, because I will make use of this.
Nice.
I will go back and I will find the actual audio of I don't even know you, but I'm sure you're a jerk, just so you can use that. And Jesse, you need to get me a cleaner unlistenable.
Well, it's unlistenable.
That was unlistenable. I appreciate your effort. I still have to download you announcing Sean and I into a new podcast and then edit it to Night Court. So that's coming though. I actually got to sit down and do it. Yes, our trial theme we decided was the Night Court theme. All right, because Law and Order, fuck that noise, Night Court, baby. That's one sexy saxophone playing. All right, this is track 6. This is Sacrifice. Cutting that one a little short, but I remember that line. I can't remember the context, but considering the next line is "Let's sacrifice him to our God," this has to be one of those this has to be one of those non-continuity episodes where they dealt with the Bible. Am I right?
On the contrary, this is very much in continuity.
Oh no! Go ahead, sir.
This line comes from an episode titled Homer Loves Flanders. It is episode 16 of season 5. Fun fact, it was the last episode pitched by Conan O'Brien before he left the writing team.
Oh, wow.
The whole context for this whole episode is where Homer stops hating the Flanders and likes Ned and the family and starts doing things with them, to the point where by the end of it, Ned hates Homer, but Homer is oblivious to his animosity. Homer does everything he can to become a better person, a better Christian, and the setup here is they're in church, and Homer's breathing through his nose, and it's loud. And Ned finally snaps and stands up, points at him, and yells, "Why don't you breathe through your damn mouth?" The congregation is shocked by this behavior from Ned. Ned goes, "Just look at this guy. He's no hero." At which point, Grandpa Simpson stands up and yells, "Let's sacrifice him to our God."
Okay, I thought it was one of the flashbacks where they're playing characters of the Bible, but I stand corrected. It's a fun song. I like the transition from the soft, clean to the harsh in it, and that line is hysterical. So that very especially knowing the context of it, to hear him sing softly, sweetly, can't you see this man is no hero? Then scream, let's sacrifice him to our God. I don't know if I can think of anything that's more Simpsons than that. You know, these are the same people who Krusty's giving everyone the business, and someone yells out from the audience, "Give us hell, Krusty!"
It's Mayor Quimby standing up at the podium giving a speech, and he lays into the citizenry for being stupid and flip-floppy, and a couple of the guys in the audience look at each other and go, "Yeah, he's right. Give us hell, Quimby."
You're right. It was Mayor Quimby. I'm confusing that with the Canyon Arrow episode with Krusty, which was a different bit. Don't you hate pants? Another one we've said a lot over the years of podcasts.
Yes. Everyone hates
and in real
pants.
life. Said it in bars. Said it at shows. Said it during shows. Don't you hate pants?
You probably said it to random inmates.
I may have said it to one or two of them. Probably, just here or there. All right, Jesse, what did you think of Sacrifice?
Not one of my favorites, but I just want to go ahead and point out that these guys do a great job of selecting specific quotes and making them metal as fuck. I mean, when you go you got, so let's sacrifice them to our God. I'm not a Simpsons expert, so I have no idea where that's coming from. But as for a metal song, that just fits right in.
Yes, it does. That was straight out of a Slayer song, probably. All right, now this next one, I want to set it up by saying this. So the line that I remember is, "Press the any key." Where's the any key? Which I've heard used in a couple of different
Yeah. I actually watched the clip on this one, so I know you've got to be thinking of a different episode.
No, he's thinking of the episode where he purposely gained like 100 pounds to get on workman's comp so he can work from home. And he's sitting in front of the computer, and it says, "Press any key to start." He goes, "Well, okay, where's the any key?" I see F and guitarl. All this computer hacking is making me thirsty. I think I'll have a tab. Pushes the tab button, which of course starts the program. He holds the cup up to the 3.5-inch floppy drive.
Oh, jeez.
An inch and a quarter. Well, no time for that now. The computer is working.
So anyway, there's a line from that episode I think it's hysterical. But Marge just so sweetly, so innocently, fleetingly with Homer says, "Homer, I just don't find you attractive anymore." And it shouldn't make me laugh, but it does. It's the way it plays. But yeah, I don't remember this, and don't tell me now before I play the song, but I don't remember this press destruct button. So
let me get,
hear the song, and then...
Can I give you a hint? Just a
No,
hint. I
go ahead.
won't tell you what it is. I'll give you a hint, okay? This song specifically relates to you and Blog Talk Radio, all right?
Oh, that does bring a whole new level to it. All right, here we go. Press the destruct button.
Kill
I'm noticing a pattern with these songs that, like, even if it's not, like, thrashy or really, really heavy, I definitely prefer the ones where I actually remember and get the gag. So this one, while it meets my heaviness quotient, it doesn't register because I don't remember the gag anymore. Winfree?
Okay, the gag comes from the Treehouse of Horror, number 15. It is the first episode of season 16, from a bit called the Ned Zone. Of course, a parody of the Stephen King story of the same name. Well, similar name. It's the Dead Zone. Had a movie made up. Actually, that was originally adapted into a movie starring Christopher Walken and Martin Sheen. There was a television series starring Anthony Michael Hall that ran for a few seasons on USA, I believe, as well. Mm-hmm. Anyway, the point here is, after suffering head trauma, Ned can touch people and see how they're going to die. He has a vision of Homer pressing the self-destruct button on the nuclear power plant and killing everyone. So naturally, he does everything he can to stop this. He goes to the nuclear plant and urgently over the intercom tells Homer, "Do not press the self-destruct button. You'll kill everyone." However, the static that cuts through his message makes it sound as though he's saying, "Do it, kill everyone." Ned can't actually stop him in time. Ned tries to stop him, but he can't. He winds up shooting Homer and killing him, but originally stopping him from pushing the button. Homer's tongue flops out, pushes the self-destruct button. Ned has enough time to say, "Oh, you stupid son of a," and then boom. They all wind up in heaven where Homer gets his Frisbee back.
I have to say, as Jesse pointed out before, they really do a remarkable job of finding such just quality Ned material here.
They do.
Have you noticed a pattern yet, Winfree, with what you've been able to piece together so far, or even looking at the whole list? Did they tend to pull from earlier stuff, later stuff? Is it a mixed bag? What common threads have you seen as far as the kind of material they're pulling?
They're certainly a little bit mixed, but they tend towards the normal stuff. I don't think there's anything. I think season 16 is as far as they get.
And what season are we on right now?
We are on quiet. 20 just wrapped up, I think.
Wow.
No, we would. No, hang on. We would have just wrapped up 21 because we just got to 600.
Wow.
Good grief.
So wait a minute. 1 through 20. No, 22, 23, 24, 20, 26, 27. Yeah, we are in 28 at the moment, and we just got to 6. We just got to 600 on the 16th of October with the Treehouse of Horror 27, and this coming 11th we have number 606, the night after Christmas.
Wow.
But I do not believe they have anything that goes after season 16. I think that's as far down as they get.
I was going to say, I mean, at some point they had to draw a line somewhere and say, this is what we're working with, and then there's a matter of when did they start writing and recording. So that makes sense. What did you think of this one, Jesse?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. Probably one of my favorite ones off of the album, to be honest. I think it's because it is a combination of how it sounds and the gag. Because when I saw the gag, I was like, "Oh, this puts it over the top for me." So I'm a fan of this one. This is probably my favorite.
Are we all in agreement that the gags make the song better? Like, if you,
yes.
Like, I don't know what we can even answer that question. He knows all the gags.
Yes.
Okay. I think, I mean, especially with Jesse and I, who don't remember every single one of them, it's more a matter of the ones we remember or make the songs that better than the ones we don't remember. So it'll be interesting to see at the end of this, what Winfree thinks of the album as a whole and what was his favorite track. At the end of this, I made myself perfectly clear. So let's go to track 8, another one I do not remember at all, though I still think this song is pretty good. This is More Animal Than Flan. You might be able to get away with playing that one on the radio. That actually felt like an actual song. I don't know how much more lyrical quality it got to it. I don't remember, but I had a similar thought when I listened to the whole thing as I was driving. I was like, this one actually sounds like if you didn't know that this was all Ned Flanders bits, this one might actually pass as a song someone sat down to write. Just a little bit, just a little, Jesse. What do you think?
I can agree with that. I could see this one being played on the radio or something like that. It might actually, get some listens. I'm curious. We're all familiar with the Simpsons. But I told my wife tonight. I said, you won't believe the album that we're going to be talking about on the Metal Hammer of Doom. And she was like, what are you talking about? Now, she has, I don't know if you guys are doing this right now or not, but the wife plays a lot of the Simpsons tapped out. Winfree, do you by chance have a phone that has that app on it at all?
I don't have a phone. I fundamentally object to them, but I am aware of the app that you're referencing.
Okay. Well, my wife would, she wouldn't know. She wouldn't know Homer from Bart, probably. That's probably stretching it. But regardless, she got this app, and she is all about it. I mean, like, before she goes to bed, she's like, you want to see what my village looks like? And, I mean, there's all sorts of Simpsons characters walking all over the place. Now, could I get her to listen to this album just based upon the fact that these guys are straight up quoting Simpsons? And I think I actually would have a chance. So as for this one actually it sounding like a decent song and having the Simpsons reference also, that's a win-win in my opinion. Now the other thing is that Winfree, does Ned have a drinking problem?
He's a bit of a lightweight.
Okay.
And I think if you were to ask him, he'd say yes.
Okay.
I don't believe under the objective qualifications of drinking problem, you would find Ned Flanders.
Okay. Well, I asked that because doesn't this song have something to do? At least the clip that I showed that I was shown, it looked like he was drunk or something, and that's what led to what he said. But maybe I was misinterpreting that.
You're not wrong. What happened, the whole setup for this episode, and it is we're way early here, season 4? Yeah, season 4, episode 16. It's titled Duffless. the whole point here is Marge gets Homer to swear off of beer for, I believe, a month. And during this time, Homer naturally struggles to abstain from alcohol. He goes to the local AA meetings where he finds Ned Flanders.
Okay.
Who shares this particular incident. And it's been 4,000 days since my last drink. That was my first and last blackberry schnapps. Then we fade to him sitting in bed with Maude, and Maude reading and quoting Ann Flanders, Ann Landers, and she gets partway through the quote, and Ned, who looks a little tipsy for Flanders, looks over at her wearing his nightcap and goes, "Oh, Ann Landers is a boring old biddy." And then we cut back to Ned in the group with his head in his hand, sobbing, "I was more animal than man."
Oh, man.
That group actually kicks Homer out after he confesses that he would sneak under the bleachers after high school football games and eat the dirt to try and get drunk.
Oh, nasty.
Oh,
But
who
yes,
hasn't eaten a little dirt over?
That's the setup for this gag. Is Flanders had a blackberry schnapps and insulted Ann Landers in front of his wife.
All right.
As to your question about Simpsons Tap Out, or the Family Guy Quest for Stuff, or I think it was just those two. I'm not allowed to play those games anymore.
Oh, no. You
My
weren't
wife
like
and I
buying
actually played the
stuff,
Simpsons.
were you?
Oh God, yeah, I was.
Oh, man. You sucker.
Twice. I'm not allowed to do that anymore. Yeah, I participated in the freemium, in the freemium addiction, and so I don't download games anymore. Angry Birds. That's the only one I'll play, and I play that on Facebook. And I'm not even sure if I'm going to do that anymore because apparently it's slowing down my shitty computer.
I was going to say, you play it on podcasts as well.
Not anymore, I don't. All right. If we're ready to move on here, let's go on to track 9. They warned me.
They warned me. They warned me. They warned me. They warned me.
That's an interesting one. What do you think, Jess?
it's a sad song. It's actually kind of sad. You feel for Ned here. I mean, you look at the lyrics, and he says the devil would be attractive. They warned me the devil would be attractive. And you got to feel for his plight. To try and continue to fight and stay pure. and avoid everything that has to do with temptation. I also want to go ahead and reiterate the synthesizer. The synthesizer really does set these songs off. I think that if you took that out of here again, just like you said, this kind of would probably fade in obscurity. But as we continue to go and listen through these tracks, that synth, man, I mean, it does a great job of bringing something different to each track and making it pop. So, as for, how I am, if it's a slower track, but, this one, it didn't bother me as bad, and I think I enjoyed it.
What did you think there, Winfree?
This was actually the first song of theirs I stumbled across after I was made aware of the existence of Okilly Dokilly. I found it on YouTube, listened to the majority of it. Again, I'm a little bit put off by the screaming, but that's just me. Individual mileage will, of course, vary. I actually like things that are a little bit on the slower side. I'm not which is odd because I have a great deal of appreciation for power metal. But I like, a little bit on the slower side. So when it goes through those segments, I really kind of dig that. Jesse, you'll probably feel a little bit better when if you didn't know before the whole setup for this gag.
Okay.
This line comes from season 16, again, episode 6, Midnight RX. The premise of this entire episode is Homer starts bringing in pills from Canada because healthcare is free in Canada. And while there, he meets a pharmacist who is his supplier, who is Canadian Ned Flanders. Now, many jokes are made about the number of people in Canada who are like Ned Flanders. But his general contact is, again, kind of Canadian Flanders. So on their last run, or one of them, because their actual last run involves the Spruce Moose and Montgomery Burns, and is equally hilarious. Don't try to land the all-wooden plane in water because it will make it combust. They bring Ned with them on this run because he's the one who actually needs some medication. One of his kids needs ADD meds, I think. So anyway, they get up there and he meets his Canadian doppelganger, and they talk a little bit, and Ned is completely enthralled with the clean air, the friendly people, the Canadian lifestyle, if you will, until Canadian Flanders offers real Flanders a reeferino. At which point Ned gets very sour and says, "Yeah, they told me the devil would be attractive." His biggest gripe with Canada is that they have legalized a few other drugs, and consequently, he views the nation now as nothing more than the essence of temptation.
I see. Well, Mark?
Yeah, I got nothing. Normally I got something, but I mean, it was a nice change of pace. That's all I can say. As far as that song goes, relative to everything else, they do a good job, I think, of breaking up the styles of the songs.
Yes.
So that it avoids being a little too samey.
Yeah.
So that I can certainly appreciate. But beyond that, I think it's time for track 10, Donut Hell.
Cigarette house had over
I do enjoy a good breakdown. And boy, has this album got plenty of them. That's a fun one. I don't even remember what they're talking about in that one. So,
how
Jesse,
dare you, sir?
Oh, goodness. Now I've gone and done it.
Well,
I don't remember.
This is a reference to... Okay, there's a reasonable amount of discussion and disagreement that can be had about what is the best Simpsons Treehouse of Horror short. As much, if you're talking about whole episodes and you know they're all three shorts, there's less debate. It's generally down to like two. There's two or three options. When we're talking about best individual shorts, there's again a reasonable amount of disagreement can be had, but generally the top spot is either the Shinning, for some people the Raven, or the line we get this bit from, the Devil and Homer Simpson. I tend to fall into this category of thought that this is the best Simpsons Treehouse of Horror short ever. You get the introduction of Devil Flanders. You get the Jury of the Damned. You get Lionel Hutz with the empty pizza box. You get Homer's head turned into a donut at the very end. This is pretty much the perfect episode.
Now that you're saying it, I actually remember the episode. I remember those bits. I couldn't, like, just based on Donut Hell, I couldn't remember what they were referencing. Now that you're saying it, I got it now.
Well, there's a couple of different parts that they're actually referencing with some of the original. This isn't just quotes from Ned and Homer, though there are two in there. We get a basic synopsis of the story where Homer sells his soul for a donut. Doesn't finish it. Winds up finishing it. He actually gets stuck in the portal to hell because he's too fat to go through. That's where the "you're wide behind won't save you this time" line comes from. While in hell, he is, chopped up. Then he is stuck in the ironic punishment division, where a demon forces him to eat every donut in the world, which he does happily. Between every batch of donuts that he's forced to eat, he actually says more. This poor demon at the end of it is stuck going, "I don't understand. James Coco went mad in 15 minutes. And then again, at the end, they have the trial where it is determined that his soul is the property of Marge Simpson, not the devil. Ned turns his head into a donut, and Homer tries to eat himself and is stuck in the house because all the cops are outside waiting for him to come out. Because cops like their donuts.
I remember
Homer,
that.
stop picking at it. I'm so tasty. Oh, well, got to go to work. I wouldn't go out there, Dad. Don't worry, boys. He's got to come out of there sometime.
Let me ask
again. It's probably if it's not the absolute best, it's one of the top three.
No, you're right. Now, and again, now that I'm paying full attention and we're talking about it, I remember that whole episode.
And Treehouse of Horror 4 is one of the best of the Treehouse of Horrors. It's generally considered, number one or number two.
Jesse, any thoughts here on Donut Hell?
Oh, dude, if these guys have got to be hitting the concert scene, you'd think, right? I mean, it can't be much of a production to get dressed up the way they do. This is the concert song right here. I mean, the whole crowd is chanting more. And I guarantee you, there's extra lyrics or something hidden. They got a whole another verse ready to go. Great song. I enjoyed it.
All right, let's move this along here. We're a little over than where I wanted to be, but that's okay. We're having fun. This is track 11. This is the third to last track, so we'll be good. This is Panic Room. this is the greatest. No Flanderdoodles, but as far as breaking up a degree of monotony and having some fun, this is outstanding. Jesse, go ahead and give your thoughts, and then let's go to Winfree for the tale of the Panic Room.
Oh, yeah, man, I agree 100%. This is a great way of coming closer to the end of the album and having a good time. Because at the end of this song, you know, obviously we can't play the whole thing, but at the end of the song, you could tell just the guys as they were singing it were having a blast because they all are just it's riotous laughter, just because of the way I think either the lead singer was singing or something like that. This band is a great example of the kind of fun that you can have when doing something like this. Granted, it's a pretty niche concept or a gimmick band, if you want to call them a gimmick band, which, I mean, I definitely would consider them a gimmick band for sure.
Yeah, they're a gimmick band. There's no denying that. Did we lose Jesse again? Tommy, can you hear me? Winfree,
I can hear you.
why don't you tell us about Winfree? Why don't we talk about what the Panic Room is?
Oh, the Panic Room. This little bit comes from season 14. Yeah, season 14, episode 21, entitled "The Bard of War." The whole setup for this episode is Bart and Milhouse wind up joining opposing youth movements. Bart becomes a preteen brave. Milhouse is a cavalry kid. They engage in shenanigans, brawl in the stadium of the Springfield Isotopes that is broken up by the side of Marge crying, and they all sing the Canadian national anthem. That's not a joke. I couldn't make it up if I tried. But what sets up this whole thing is the realization that Bart and Milhouse spend too much time together and unsupervised because in the beginning they kind of accidentally break into Flanders' house. They tie a string around a fly. We don't know how. They just do. The fly escapes into the house of Flanders where it is eaten by their cat. But in trying to reclaim it, they sneak into his house, realize they're in there unsupervised, and go a little bit wild. They make peanut butter and jelly in a blender without the top on. They slide down the staircase and, things you're not supposed to. They break into one of Ned Flanders' room where it is revealed what a Beatles maniac he is. But when Ned and Rod and Todd come back from planting a tree for the elderly, which Todd really wishes they could have stayed to see, but that's the sin of pride. Then he apologizes, sin of regret. They return to their house and realize, and the line is actually from Ned, the house is slightly askew to the Panic Room. They go into the Panic Room, hit the call police button, and Rod and Todd are unnerved, a little bit scared. And Daddy, I'm scared. Scared of what? All the fun little camp songs we're going to sing? We'll be safe inside our fortress when they come. We'll be safe from creeps and killers when they come. Unless they've got a blowtorch or a poison gas injector, then I don't know what'll happen when they come. The song does very little to actually quell the nerves of Rod and Todd.
Well, they are a skittish pair. We don't know where Jesse went. Jesse's having troubles tonight, or Skype is having troubles. Oh, here we go. Press destruct button. Very droll, Jesse. Very droll.
Mother fudrucker. All right. What have I missed?
He explained the Panic Room in the song and why they suddenly broke into. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes bit. But some words here, words of wisdom regarding the Panic Room. Go.
Oh, I finished off with gimmick band. Is there any other gimmick band that's more gimmicky than this that you can think of off the top of your head?
Oh goodness, there's so many. I mean,
this is pretty extreme.
No, it isn't.
Okay.
I can't think of it. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I can guarantee you I can find sillier, gimmickier bands than this. This just, I just thought this was hilarious. So, that's why we're talking about it, and it's also fairly new. I remember, there's so many albums that get put out in a year, and then, and again, so many of them are just fun, gimmicky nonsense bands. I mean, think about it this way. Think about the two most famous gimmicky bands that, of the modern era. You've got Austrian Death Machine.
Okay.
Gimmick band. Okay. That is a huge gimmick band. And then you have Me First and the Gimme Gimmies.
Do not know that one.
You know what anyone here know what Oh, you don't know that one?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, you're not into punk. Winfree, any idea what Me First and the Gimme Gimmies is?
I got nothing.
So it's a punk supergroup made up of like folks in NoFX and some of the other Fat Records bands, and their whole thing is they play nothing but covers. They did a live album called Me First and the Gimme Gimmies Ruined Johnny's Bar Mitzvah, and they really played a bar mitzvah.
Oh wow!
So give that a listen when you have a chance. Yeah, Me First and the Gimme Gimmies Ruined Johnny's Bar Mitzvah. And their albums have always been thematic. So, like, they did hits of the 70s. They've done show tunes. They've done country. They did R&B and soul. Huge gimmicky band. They've toured. It's pretty hilarious stuff. And, if you like punk rock music, it's a lot of fun to listen to. So, yeah, this is just... This is just one of many.
I just
one of many.
I just tagged you guys in this tour that Okilly Dokilly is going to be on, and I don't know if they're the headliner. Well, they're. I imagine Okilly Dokilly is bringing up, opening up for them or whatever. But anyway, we got Mac Sabbath. You ever heard of Mac Sabbath?
No.
Okay, well, I can tell you the lead singer is dressed up like Ronald McDonald.
And Metalcore.
And Metalcore, I don't know who that is. I have no idea.
It sounds like a hybrid of metal music and mariachi music.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. I hope so. I'm gonna have to look into this.
Yes. We'll check it out.
Yeah. Where is? I'm gonna go ahead and play another song. While we're doing this, Jesse, can you just do a little bit of research here and see where this concert is taking place? Like what exactly? I mean, because I looked at what you sent and I could not. Looks like they're playing at least one show in New York, but I couldn't figure out the rest of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and play a song here, and then when we come back, you can tell us where in 2017 we could find Okilly Dokilly live. This may or may not be one of my favorite songs on here, but it is easily the best title besides Flanderdoodles. This is Godspeed, Little Doodle. I cut it off there. I don't know how much better it gets or worse, but first thing I need to say is, God damn it, yet another awesome tour not coming to Florida. It's coming everywhere else. But the Monstrosity Tour 2017 is going to Omaha, Nebraska, and not Tampa. It's going to Milwaukee, Minneapolis, Chicago, Arlington Heights, St. Louis, Nashville, Louisville, Lexington, Columbus. You should go to the one in Columbus there. Yes.
What's my name? There you go. Yeah, I just might do that.
You should take your wife to go see Okilly Dokilly, Max Sabbath, and Metalachi. Which I gotta read this really quick.
Metalachi is on Spotify. Just to let you know, but Max Sabbath is not.
What kind of mockery is this? Viral sensations and food-themed Black Sabbath cover artist Max Sabbath and heavy metal mariachi group Metalachi joined Ned Flanders' Nedal band Okilly Dokilly for the most insane tour of 2017. 22 cities, ladies and gentlemen, not one of them in Florida. 2 of them in Ohio, though, God damn it. You got the Columbus, Ohio, and Cleveland, Ohio.
Hey, Winfree, if you had the opportunity, I don't know if you go watch concerts or anything like that, but if they were around your area, would you actually go watch these guys?
I'd have to figure out how much it would cost, and the specific date would come into question. But assuming I had no conflict of interest and disposable income, yeah, probably.
All right.
I'm not a big concert goer, but I might make an exception for good old Okilly Dokilly.
Just as an aside, a Testament's going on tour with Prong and Sepultura. So I'm gonna try to get tickets to that. Metalachi. Good grief. Okay. Let's go ahead and. We never figured out. Remember, we only have like 15 minutes left, and I do want to end this like at the end of a live recording. So, 50 words or less. Godspeed, little doodle. Go.
This comes from we're early here, season 5, episode 8, Boy Scouts in the Hood. Bart joins a Boy Scout-like organization, it's the Boy Scouts, called the Junior Campers, after a night of squishies. You see, he and Milhouse found $20 and ordered a super squishy, comprised entirely of syrup. There's an amusing musical number entitled Springfield, Springfield, as a play on New York, New York, where Milhouse and Bart, in sugar-induced, mania, do stuff, and it turns out after the fact that Bart had joined the Junior Campers, which he initially does not care for, and of course Ned is the Scoutmaster. But eventually he discovers that he can get out of quizzes by going to Junior Campers meetings, and actually comes to enjoy the process, which Homer mocks him for. But that kind of changes during a father-son raft trip, where Homer and Bart must share a raft with Rod and Ned Flanders. This is a spectacular failure. Homer in the wilderness usually is. They get lost. They actually drift out to sea, which is where the line comes from. Desperate for food, they use the last of their cheese doodles as bait for fishing. Unfortunately, they forget to secure the line, and the fish simply takes the cheese doodle and their fishing line and heads off for the horizon. At which point Ned just kind of weakly looks over the side and goes, "Godspeed, little doodle."
Oh, that's funny.
He also does go in for the redundantly unfor.
Yes.
Then Homer is able to smell his way to a Krusty Burger on an offshore oil rig. That was actually an unmanned offshore oil rig that Krusty had opened one on. Because Krusty's not too bright either. But they arrive there just in time, save that particular franchise by buying as much food as they can possibly consume, and then returning home.
All right. I know people have been wondering. So Metalachi is actually a cover band. Their album, which came out in 2012, called Uno, they cover Crazy Train, Rainbow in the Dark, Man in the Box, Sweet Child of Mine, Run to the Hills, Wind of Change, Immigrant Song, and Living on a Prayer. And we're going to download and make a playlist.
I will be listening tomorrow. Guaranteed.
We must talk about this and follow. I will come back to you later, Mr. Metalachi. See, this show is about education, folks. It's about education and passing on the knowledge.
That's right.
What is left to say? What is left to say is all that is left. My summation, and then I'm going to let Robert tell us what that was all about, and then I'll let Jesse finish up, and we'll get out of here. So overall, this was fun. We have had some real interesting times this year on this show, not the least of which are times when my fucking mic doesn't work. But aside from that,
press destruct button.
We've had some doozies of albums this past year. Some real letdowns, some real surprises. By the way, if you follow Jesse on Facebook or the Metal Hammer, the Rattlers and Broadcasting Network Facebook page, Jesse has been doing a blog post kind of giving short summary reviews of all the albums we've gone over. It's a good read. Good job, Jesse, so far.
Thank you.
In any case, you're welcome. But we have to sometimes take a time out for fun on this show, and this has been one of those nights where we're not necessarily going after the most popular of albums or the most notorious or noteworthy. We're doing something.
We went from Metallica to Okilly Dokilly.
Yeah, running the gamut. It is. I'm very, in a lot of ways, I'm Peter Griffin. I get obsessed with something and it becomes my new favorite thing for like a week. And, it's got an odd sense of humor that way, that when I discovered this, I was like, we have to talk about this because this makes me laugh. And why else do a podcast than to enjoy yourself, have fun, talk to your friends about things that you're passionate about and that you enjoy. So tonight, we have bathed in the pool that is The Simpsons. We have talked metal. We have learned about a new band, a new type of music, Nedal music, as it were. And so I think overall for the ingenuity, the creativity, the joy that it brought me personally and the ability to talk about it with you guys, I'm going to go ahead and give this album an A. I don't know if musically it deserves it, but I will say, of all the shows that we've done this year, this has been one of the more fun ones. I mean, granted, ripping to shreds Rob Zombie's new album and Surgical Meth Machine was fun too. But this was fun in a different way in that I didn't hate the album I was listening to at the time. So, it met my criteria of it was fun, the music was enjoyable, and the conversation was lively. All right, real quick, Winfree, 50 words or less, and I do mean 50. All that is left, go.
This isn't actually a Ned Flanders quote so much as it is a reference to his store, the Leftorium, which exists on the south side of the Springfield Mall. If you go there, you will find all that is left. Because it's for lefties. It's wordplay. It's clever. You like it.
All right, really quick, Winfree, what did you think of this whole album, this whole experience? And did you enjoy yourself tonight? Did you enjoy being yet a part of another Metal Hammer of Doom show?
Yeah, I had fun. I mean, what's not to like? Again, the music isn't always necessarily to my personal taste, but I didn't feel like I was generating AIDS while listening to it. It didn't give me cancer.
That's good.
Which is a darn sight better than, certain albums you've reviewed without naming names. Mr. Zombie. I got to, have some fun with some Simpsons memories, kill time with you guys, and I found a new theme song. So I am 100% okay with this turn of it, with how this whole thing came about and played out. I am good. I am quite good.
Outstanding. All right, Mr. Starcher, do your thing and do it well.
Hey, just as a quick aside, I am left-handed. Okay, and
really?
I am. I would go to the Leftorium, which is, I assume, is a very it's not as menacing. This song is way more menacing than what the quote, I'm sure, is, right, Winfree?
Well, there's no specific quote here
as
far as that goes. But yeah, the Leftorium's a very happy place. And it only succeeds in Springfield because Springfield has this weird statistical oddity where the national average for left-handedness is about 1 in 5 or so, I seem to recall. In Springfield, it's 1 in 3.
Okay, all right.
And it includes both Mo Sizlak and Mr. Burns.
Okay, I hope that's a representative of good things there for Springfield, since I represent the left-handed part of this great nation, this great world of ours. I just want Okilly Dokilly. This is a fun album. There's not much more that I could say. I can tell you that as far as replayability, most likely this isn't going to make it to like a playlist or anything like that. There's some songs on here that I enjoy. As a matter of fact, I enjoy the whole album. There's not really a song that I hate, which is good because usually if it's a shit show, I'll let you know. That's not the case here. This is a good album. But most likely this is something I'd probably revisit here in about another 6 months or something. And of course, I'll probably share it with a few people. Actually, I already have. I made sure Benjamin J. Cologne knew that we were doing this show tonight. And I also told our good friend Josh Calandros that we were going to be reviewing it. So it speaks to a lot of people. It's a if you can find a metalhead that enjoys The Simpsons, you may have you probably got a winner here. But yeah, that's my feeling on the album as a whole. Take it away, Mark.
All right. Well, folks, that wraps things up. We are done for the night. I got to go watch The Masters for tomorrow's show. One more movie to watch for our special episode of Long Road to Ruin, where we're going to talk about some Paul Thomas Anderson movies, specifically There Will Be Blood and The Master. We were originally going to cover as well Boogie Nights, but I am dangerously running low on time. So we're going to cut Boogie Nights and just focus on those
Look,
two, which is
less
fine,
Mark
'cause apparently,
Wahlberg in the world is usually a good thing.
not only that, apparently it's Gavin's like least favorite of the movies for whatever the reasons are,
Well,
so whatever.
Because it's the least, that is probably the movie of least quality that Paul Thomas Anderson has done, though I suppose there's an argument between it and Inherent Vice.
But I mean, it met my personal criteria of it was interesting to me because it was about porn. So, I look. I'm a simple man with simple needs. So that's tomorrow at 9:30.
I mean, I can tell you how it ends.
It's fine. Please don't. I'd actually like to sit through Boogie Nights one of these days.
Well, Mark Wahlberg's character ends the same way that character is based off of does.
Oh, the super duper. Next week, Long Road to Ruin is going to be on the special night Tuesday. It's our last show of the year. I think our last show ever. We're going out with a bang here. The Cornetto trilogy, the Three Flavors Cornetto trilogy, I should say. Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End. Metal Hammer of Doom is back with our last album review of the year. We're going out with a bang here. Superjoy, Caught Up in the Gears of Application. We're going to follow that up the following week with Metal Hammer of Doom, We Wish You a Merry Christmas. We're tentatively calling it. And then on the 28th is our year-end spectacular. If you're wondering what in the hell happened to Damn You Hollywood, we will be back on the 20th with a review of Rogue One. As a matter of fact, the night before that, we will have a source material covering the Star Wars, George Lucas's original shit script that was converted into a barely readable comic book, which we talked about at length.
Come on,
and
Luke
then
Starkiller
finally,
is awesome.
our last couple of shows of the year, Damn You Hollywood's last official review is on the 27th. Sean Comer will be joining us as we talk Assassin's Creed. As I said, the Metal Hammer Doom year-end spectacular is on the 28th. And our very last show of 2016, and what a year it's been, Damn You Hollywood, the year in review. And then Damn You Hollywood's going on a 2-month hiatus, and we'll be back in March for Logan, Kong Skull Island, and Beauty and the Beastie. Metal Hammer of Doom is not taking much of a break. We're just taking a week off, and then we're back with Metal Hammer of Doom, clutch, deep cuts, covers, and B-sides. That same week, real quick, On Trial will begin. It's my new show with Sean. We'll be looking at Big Trouble in Little China, and then 2 weeks after that, Inception. Source material, Mr. Starcher.
Mm-hmm.
He got his arm twisted.
I
And
did.
On the 9th of January, we're going to be reviewing the 4-part DC Flintstone series. Can't wait.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy.
And finally,
I don't think you have any idea what you're in for. I really don't.
I can't wait for this. And just real quick, we have rebranded something that we've been starting to do this year, which is TV series reviews. They'll be known as TV parties, and our first TV party of the year will be me and Cooper reviewing Voltron. Pat and I next week actually are supposed to be reviewing Fuller House Season 2. We may or may not get to it. I don't know. I got to talk to Pat. So that's all my plugs. Winfree, just let people know what's going on real quick with your Metal Hammer Doom show.
Okay.
I was going to say, I don't think he has one, but go ahead.
No, yes.
Apparently,
I'm
I'm being shanghaied into having another Metal Hammer of Doom show.
I quit this goddamn show. I'm done. No, I meant the 411 Ground and Pound radio show. Goddammit.
I know what you meant. I just have to give you grief. I'm really good at understanding what people mean, even when they don't say what they mean. It's weird.
You should be with me at this point. We've done enough shows together.
Yeah, all right. This coming Friday and Saturday on back-to-back nights, I have coverage of MMA events, UFC Fight Night 102, on Friday, and then UFC 206 on Saturday. These are both, I'm going to be kind and say lackluster events on paper. Let's all hope for better action. Last Sunday, I reached across the country, or about, 2/3 of it. 3/4 might be more accurate. I twisted the arm of Pat Mullen, and I got him back on the 411 Ground and Pound radio show for a temporary return of, I don't know if it's one night only, but Jeff Harris, my usual co-host, was busy doing some work at the PlayStation Expo, I believe. Kind of expo time in his part of the world. So Pat was kind enough to come on the show with me. He had seen all the fights from the night before and was familiar with several of the upcoming fighters on the upcoming card. So we broke down Demetrius Johnson's title win, the other flyweight bout that night, which was gangbusters between Henry Cejudo and Joseph Benavidez. And we previewed Max Holloway, Anthony Pettis, all the other fights. So you can give that a listen. It was really nice to have Pat back. I like talking technique with Pat, so a lot of fun was had. This coming Sunday, Jeff will be back, and we will be reviewing UFC 206 Fight Night 102, and we'll be previewing UFC on Fox 22. Their card from Sacramento, headlined by Paige Van Zandt and Michelle Watterson. Uriah Faber's last fight will be on that card, and random bout between Sage Northcutt and Mickey Gall. So you can tune in, hear us talk about all of that. Should be a lot of fun.
All right, Jesse, take us home. Clean us up.
All right. Well, really, I only have one other plug for source material, and that will be a show where good Stephen Marsh joins me to talk about Alien versus Predator 3 World War. Now, we're going to record that this coming Friday, and then most likely it'll drop probably the week after our Star Wars episodes drop. Only other thing I'd like to say is please, if you guys enjoy this podcast, share it, and don't forget to go like the Rattlich and Broadcasting Facebook page to stay up on top of all the great podcasts that we have to offer. Subscribe to us on Stitcher, iTunes. We're on TuneIn Radio, so check it out. And that's all I have.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's Christmas time, so we're going to go out with some Christmas music. Be well, be safe, and behave.
Jingle bells ring, jingle bells ring. A dirichly quattro giucci, chaptegli campanelle. Moga scoppani, veniva gibana passadelle. Quando sono le campanelle, devo darmi la casa bella. Moga spondalone, ne va gibana balladelle. Campanelle, campanelle, sono bella bella. Moga festa nata volta, taccata una festa bella. Campanelle, campanelle, sono bella bella. Mo moglier m'attacchi giù, ce ne va gibana tarantelle. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Did I hear you're shopping for a car? Because I've been at it for ages. Ugh, such a time suck, right?
Not really. I bought it on Carvana. Super convenient.
Oh, then comes all the financing, research, am I right?
Well, you can, but I got pre-qualified for a Carvana auto loan in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, but then all the number crunching and terms, right?
Nope. I saw real numbers as I shopped, found my dream car, and got it in a couple of days.
Wait, like you already have it?
Yep.
Oh.
Go to Carvana.com to finance your car the convenient way.
I'm Victoria Cash. Thanks for calling the Lucky Land Hotline. If you feel like you do the same thing every day, press 1. If you're ready to have some serious fun for the chance to redeem some serious prizes, press 2. We heard you loud and clear. So go to LuckyLandSlots.com right now and play over 100 social casino-style games for free. Get lucky today at LuckyLandSlots.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.